Hey guys, it's me again, and we are ready for our second lesson on parabolas. So I want you guys to get out a piece of graph paper, draw yourself a graph, write down these 4 formulas, and pause the video if needed. And when you're done with that, I'm going to talk about those formulas. Okay, so the first formula is the one we learned yesterday. We learned that if you open to the right, it is y squared. This is the vertex, which I set down here, and A is the distance from the focus to the directrix. Okay, so if you want a parabola to open left instead, there's only a tiny change in the formula. There is a negative sign right there. And then just like in Algebra 1 class, if your parabola opens up or down, that's the x that's being squared. I know the formula looks different, but it is the same formula, just written in a different way. And the x squared is what clues you into that it's up and down. And then the y squared clues you into that it's right or left. Okay, so we're going to try our first problem. I want you guys to write down y plus 4 squared equals negative 12x plus 2. Okay, so we're going to graph this problem. If you notice, the y is being squared just like yesterday, but because there's a negative right there, that means that the parabola is going to open to the left instead. Okay, so remember, the first thing you always do is you plot your vertex, which is the opposite of this and the opposite of this. So the vertex in this problem is -2, -4. Okay, so on your graph paper, go -2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you have your vertex right here. Sometimes it's kind of helpful to put a little V right there. Okay, and then if you remember, this is our 4a. By the way, a is a distance, so it's always positive. So you can kind of just ignore the negative for a second. 4 times what number equals 12? That means a is 3, okay? And remember, the definition of a is the distance from the vertex to the focus. Now the difference is, because my parabola opens left, this is going to be 3 to the left. So the focus is always inside the bowl of the parabola. And then to remember that the directrix is the complete opposite direction. So it's going to be a line like that, okay? And then don't forget, you have to graph accurate lattice points. So this is 6 away. So then you know to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just fits. And you can draw your parabola. 3 points is all that's required, and then you have a nice parabola. Okay, so let's try one that opens a different direction. Okay. Okay, so redraw a nice graph for me. And the equation that we're going to use this time is going to be x minus 1 squared equals, let's see, what did I, okay, equals negative 8y minus 4. Okay, so the first thing you should ask yourself is, which direction do you think this opens? So take a second. Which one of these equations does it look the most alike? Okay, I think I heard you guys all say that it opens down, so nice job on that. I'm kidding, of course, my room is completely empty. So open down because the x is being squared and there's a negative right there. Okay, so remember, the first thing you do is you find the vertex. It's the opposite of the x. The x is over here, so be really careful about that. And the opposite of the y. So the vertex is 1, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Sometimes it helps that you write the word opens down so that you guys don't forget. And then hopefully you're getting good at finding the a value. This is 4a, so a is 2. So think to yourself, which direction should I draw the focus? Should it go up, down, right, or left? And then you're like, oh look, it opens down, so the focus has to be down also, like this. Focus. Okay. The directrix will now be above the graph, like this. Okay, and then the lattice points are still the same, but this time they're going to be this way. So the distance of this has to be the same as the distance to here. So this is 4, so then this is 4. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you draw, ooh, that's not my best parabola, but it's okay. All right, so it's a parabola opening down. This distance is 2. The lattice points are 4 out, and you are done. Okay, so now we're going to do problems where it looks a little bit different, okay? So I'm going to write down an equation for you, and it should look different when I write it down. Okay, so I want you guys to write this down. X squared plus 6x minus 8y minus 7 equals 0. Okay, so even though that equation looks kind of new, you should still know it's a parabola because of this reason. If you look at your variables, we have x's and y's, only one of those variables is being squared, just the x. So we know it's a parabola, x squared, and we know it either opens up or down. We know it doesn't open right or left because the y is not being squared. All right, so you're gonna do something right now that you did in advanced algebra. It's called completing the square, okay? I feel like we did it in this class in the beginning of the year too, but I just really can't remember. So basically what we want is we want this to look like this. So we need these factors to show up. So basically you need to force it to factor, okay? So this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna say x squared plus 6x is going to stay on the left. If you notice your equation, there's nothing else on the left that doesn't have that x in it, so we're going to add the 8y, add the 7 to the other side, and we're going to get this. Okay, so again, your first step is to get all the variable that has the square in it. So in this case, the x squared and regular x on the left, and all the other variables on the right. So then this is the completing the step, completing the square part, okay? X squared plus 6x. What would you add to this to make it a perfect square, okay? And hopefully you remember this, but a perfect square is something that factors into like x plus 1 squared or x plus 2 squared or something like that. And there's a rule for it, which is pretty handy. It says that if you take half of this number, which in case is 3, and you square it, that this then will always be a perfect square, okay? But we all know in math, you can't just add a 9 there. If whatever you add to that side, you have to also add to that side to balance it out, okay? All right, and then you just factor this. If you think about this, what multiplies to 9 and add to 6, it's 3 and 3. So this multiplies into x plus 3 squared, or factors into that, which is this part. And then this side, you get 8y plus 16. And that doesn't quite look like this. So what you need to do is you need to then factor this out, okay? So you get x plus 3 squared equals 8y plus 2, okay? Now it looks just like our other parabolas, okay? You should be able to tell me that because x squared and it's positive, that this opens up. Okay, so we're gonna graph this real fast. I'm trying to see how much room it takes. I have plenty of room. So I'm gonna go like this, draw my graph. Okay, so again, you always plot your vertex first. Okay, so the vertex is the x first, so -3 and then -2. So -3, -2 is down here, okay? My a value is 2, because that's 4a. And that means that because it opens up, I have to go up 2 to put my focus, down 2 to put my directrix, and then my lattice points are 4 away, so I have to go out 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and voila, you got a beautiful parabola. Okay, we're gonna do one more example today. I want you guys to try to complete the square, okay? What I would recommend is I put the problem up, you pause the video, you complete the square, and then you turn me back on and you see if you did the steps right, okay? So the problem I want you guys to try is y squared plus 2y minus 12x plus 13 equals 0. Okay, so again, if you feel comfortable, pause the video and try to complete the square for this problem, okay? And then turn me back on and you will step by step show you how to do this, okay? All right, so in this problem, since y squared is since y is being squared, the y's have to be on the left by itself and the x's have to be on the other side with that 13. So I'm gonna leave the y squared plus the 2y, and then I'm gonna add 12x and subtract 13 so that only y's are on the left and the non-y's are on the right, okay? This is where you make this side factorable, so y squared plus 2y plus what number would you add there to make this factorable, okay? So you take half of this number, which is 1, you square it and you get 1. If you add 1 there, don't forget to add 1 on the other side, okay? And then if you do it right, this should factor. So what multiplies to 1 and adds to 2? And that, of course, is y plus 1 squared, okay? Over here, you get 12x minus 12. And then don't forget, you have to take that number out. So y plus 1 squared equals 12 times x minus 1. Okay, all right, what does this guy look like? Okay, so the vertex is, remember, do the x first, is 1, negative 1. Okay, the a value is 3 because this is 4a. So we're gonna take a second and graph this. I want you guys to pause the video, try to graph it by yourself, turn me back on and make sure you're doing it right. Okay. Okay, so when you draw your axis, hopefully I'll have enough space here. Okay, so 1, negative 1 is right there. The a is 3, and remember, because this one's y squared positive, okay, I know this one opens to the right, okay? So a is 3 means you go out 3, and you go out 3, okay? And then this is 6 away, so you need to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops, sorry about that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. All right. And then you go like this. And you have your parabola. All right, group. So that's it for today. Try to do your homework. Let me know how it goes. Hope you guys are doing okay at home. I miss you. Take care.